experience you will remember. Enjoy the luxurious ambience. Experience superior service. Indulge in endless pleasures. The pearl of the tourism offer and the pearl of the Adriatic. Lemburne, focus and voice.
For the lead at turn 2, and looked to be Gianmarco Ercoli, but he hasn't managed to execute the move. So Ercoli was trying to find a way past the Amazons around the outside of 1 and 2. That's the set on second place. They're on lap 3. Ercoli is yet to really make a move, and I think that's in part because Ziortzis is making it abundantly clear that half an opportunity will see the Cypriot driver get past the Italian. Ziortzis took just the one win last year, and it was here at the circuit Ricardo Tormo. He'll be looking to repeat that feat at Ricardo Tormo and then try and get a win at every other circuit on the EuroNASCAR calendar. And always one of the quickest drivers in the paddock last year. Went up against, there's Garelli getting past Giorgio Maggi. So Garelli has managed to make a move there. And now Giorgio Maggi under threat as well from the 64 and from Sebastian Bleekemolen. So Giorgio Maggi loses out to Lasser and Bleekemolen as well. And well, while the party's going, Anthony Kumpen says, mind if I come? Kumpen around the outside at turn 4. There is Maggi in 8th place and hasn't really been able to latch on to the back of Anthony Kumpen. He is now under pressure from Mark Goossens and Frédéric Gabillon. Meanwhile, a penalty has been displayed to the car number 40. That's Neo Lambert for causing that collision. So he was judged to be at fault in the collision between himself and Kenko Miura. So Goossens has made a position, and Giorgio Maggi also loses out to Frédéric Gabillon. So Giorgio Maggi has dropped from 4th to 10th in about 3 laps. To wonder if he's nursing something of an issue, or maybe he's taken the best out of his tyres early on. Try and hold off Ziortzis, who's got a good run towards turn 2, nose to the inside, but can't quite get it done. Absolutely nothing that Ziortzis could have done better there. Got a good run out of the corner, but Ercoli just had the car ahead by the time they got to turn 2. But looking at the margin from rear bumper to front bumper in this battle for second, Ziortzis has absolutely no intention of staying behind for long. In this last lap, it's just started to feel a little more likely, hasn't it? We've seen Ziortzis get a little bit closer. Quarter panels have started to merge a little bit, and again goes to the inside, does Ziortzis, but no move made. Ercoli's got to be careful there, running out wide, and on this occasion the running out wide has actually cost him, because to the inside with a nose ahead is Vladimiros Ziortzis, but again a bit more pull seemingly for Ercoli. It's going to be Ziortzis though on the inside into the first corner, surely. Vladimiros Ziortzis has got it done, and he has. He's gotten ahead into P2. Ercoli will try and fire back now into turn 2. Pulls out of the move. Mutual respect between these two drivers as Vladimiros Ziortzis really gets sideways. They're still side by side through turn 3. But Vladimiros Ziortzis has finally managed to get himself up into P2. and no one has been able to do enough to best this man, Liam Hazemans. We started calling him Hollywood Hazemans last year after he took the EuroNASCAR 2 title in dramatic fashion, and it's a blockbuster beginning to his career in EuroNASCAR Pro, with a first full season campaign this year and a first win in the category. Great job from Hazemans. Second place goes to Siortsis. Third place for Gianmarco Ercoli. Garelli holds on to fourth place ahead of Blake Molen. Of EuroNASCAR 2 2023 gets underway now, and we are racing. It's a good start by the looks of it from Siortsis, so Alberto Nascar's fears unwarranted. A good start from the number 5. He will lead into the first corner. Second place is going to go to Alberto Nascar in the 54. Dufro trying to hold on around the outside for third place there. He's got Claudio, in fact no, he's got Gil Linster for company. That Linster up into third place, it could be one of the others. The advances of Dario Casso. There's a bit of an experience deficit here. Dario Casso, the Italian racer, has driven a lot of laps around this circuit. He knows that turn one's a good overtaking opportunity, but Davidson tries to hold on around the outside, makes liberal use of the runoff. Also getting involved in this then is Roberto Benedetti, who dives up the inside, but that compromises both he and Dario Casso. And Jack Davidson, very cool-headed driving there, just takes the track and continues on his way unabated. That was very wily driving then from Davidson versus Dario Casso. And Casso gives him a nudge. That's more than a helping hand. Both cars off into the gravel. Oh dear. Casso was just way too ambitious on the brakes there. He manages to get himself onto the tarmac escape road, and that's served him well. Davidson's lost more time as a result of that one, and Davidson is going to find himself down somewhere in the high teens, if not 20th. Dubek still trying to find a way around Patrick Schauber. Incidentally, the two of them have somewhat dropped. Romagnoli behind, so Riccardo Romagnoli in 8th position is not quite able to keep up with this battle for 6th place. Patrick Schauber still doing a wonderful job in the double V car of holding off Martin Dubek. Can he finally get away through this time? Looks like he might, yes. Has dived up the inside. You can see that Patrick Schauber's got some loose bodywork as well, which might be losing him a mile an hour or so in a straight line. He's desperately trying to hold on as they collide into the braking zone. Both parties somehow keep the car somewhat in the right direction. Patrick Schauber trying every which way he can to not give up the position, but I think he's finally going to have to yield. He's not done yet. He dives up the inside of Dubek, and well, that was from quite a way back, and it was fairly executed, but I reckon Martin Dubek says, okay, we're doing diving, are we? Okay, well, down into turn 8 he goes, and sure enough, he looks to the inside for Patrick Schauber, carries it off. I get the feeling this battle is going to get more physical before a truce is called. Once again, with slightly better straight line speed, he muscles Patrick Schauber out of the way, but has he gone too quick into turn 1? No, he keeps it nicely on the pavement. Will Schauber retaliate now? Into turn 2, tries to take the apex, does take the apex, lifts his own bonnet up even more than it already is in the process. Minor touch between the two of them. So let's see if Schauber can hold off Dubek this time as they go down the main straight. They begin the penultimate lap of the race, 5 miles between them and the flag. 8 kilometers if you prefer, and Dubek looks to the inside. Surely he's got it done. He's got the whole car alongside Schauber, but Schauber has a canny way of finding a way back past Dubek each and every time. Let's see if he dives into turn 2. No, holds his station for now. Dubek sometimes ends up drifting wide and just allowing Schauber a method back through. Let's see if that happens again. I think at this point Dubek is surely out of patience and just wants to retain that position. He's going to be hyper-focused on keeping that car where it needs to be. But then there goes Patrick Schauber again, and somehow they avoid each other. The door was firmly closed on Schauber there by Dubek. Here comes, though, Vladimir Osiortsis. He took his first win in EuroNASCAR 2 here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo, and almost exactly 12 months later, he's repeating the feat. It's a win for Vladimir Osiortsis in the first race of EuroNASCAR 2 2023, and it's a commanding one at that. He beats
Yeah, let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard.
EuroNASCAR 2 race yesterday was commanded and controlled by Alberto Nasca. Can he do it again here at the Autodromo Vallelunga? We will find out now. He is on the inside. Paul Giffreau is to his left. Jill Linster is behind Giffreau. Vladimir Osiortsis is there in third place behind Alberto Nasca. The lights go green, and it looks like a marginally better start for Paul Giffreau. He's got the outside line as they approach Curva Grande for the first time. It's still side by side as they go through the corner. Nasca said he was going to go flat through Curva Grande. Has that come to pass? Well, maybe not, because Paul Giffreau is still there on his outside. He's got a nose ahead. Will it be the Frenchman leading into turn 4? Well, yes, but Alberto Nasca is still there on the inside, and I think Nasca is just about going to be in control. Oh, and a collision for Capelli, and so fell further back in the order, sends everyone else skittling, and that is a major incident. Several cars collected there, coming out of turn 5 and into turn 6. Max Mason, unfortunately Melvin de Groot as well. There you see Claudio Remeggio Capelli, the number 38 car, was in the gravel as well. That's, of course, Cesar Balestrieri, who's had absolutely no luck this weekend. But several cars off circuit. I believe we've just gone to full course yellow. Paul Giffreau, though, is the leader. Giffreau has come out of that situation as the race leader. We just saw that on screen. If Nasca is quicker to react to the lights, he'll still potentially be able to draw alongside Paul Giffreau for Curva Grande. Let's see what happens. Giffreau controls the field then as we go to the 1/3 distance mark in the race. We begin lap 6, and we begin lap 6 with a return to green flag racing. Giffreau with a good start there. Alberto Nasca, though, under pressure from Vladimir Osiortsis. Everyone fans out as they go through Curva Grande. Looks like Nasca carries the most speed. Can he get close enough to Paul Giffreau for turn 4, turn 5? Doesn't look like he's quite able to do so. Side-by-side action further back, Patrick Schauber and Martin Dubek. Patrick Schauber's lost a few positions from his initial starting place of 5th. So we've got another car in the gravel, the number 4 of Pangiotis. Now that was just coming out of turn 5. So the racing is halted again.
when you come to Kvarner, treat yourself to an experience you will remember. Enjoy the luxurious ambience. Experience superior service. Indulge in endless pleasures. The pearl of the tourism offer in the pearl of the Adriatic. Liburnia, Hotels and Villas.
Welcome along then to the Autodrom Most. We're slightly delayed here as we get ourselves ready for the EuroNASCAR 2 race. As you can see by Most standards, especially August Most standards, it's a fairly sedate 24 degrees Celsius here at the circuit at the moment, which is really good for the drivers at least. It's still going to get very hot and searing, however, in the cockpits. The ambient temperatures are a little lower than usual for this time of year at this circuit. However, the cars, of course, still quite hot and bothered to drive for a long time around any circuit. As you can see, the cars are just now heading out onto the track after a delay to the schedule in an earlier race. And so they now head out onto the circuit. This is the Autodrom Most. It is 2.6 miles in length, if you prefer, just a smidge over 4.2 kilometres. Very technical circuit, this. 21 corners spread over the course of this circuit. So 21 corners in 2.617 miles, 4.212 kilometres. That's no mean feat. The first chicane is the danger zone. We've already seen in the EuroNASCAR Pro Race earlier on today just how harem-scarum it can get around that section when we do the double file rolling start at the beginning of the race. Turn 1 also a good overtaking opportunity, as is turn 6, turn 10, turn 13, 15, turns 20 and 21, the primary overtaking opportunities around this circuit. Plenty of room for manoeuvre, plenty of room for overtaking. Will be very exciting to see what goes on in this EuroNASCAR 2 race. It's a slightly mixed up order in some regards. There are a few drivers who are a little bit further up the order than anticipated, and that's because earlier on today, when we qualified in the morning, it was a little bit wet. By the time we got to EuroNASCAR 2, some of the competitors were running on slick tyres. In fact, I think most of the competitors were on slicks by the end of the session. But it was still slippery out there, so the order is a little bit mixed up in some regards. One thing that holds true, though, with the championship standings is the front row of the grid, because it's Vladimiros Siortsis and Alberto Nasca on the front row. And if you look at the championship standings, it's Vladimiros Siortsis who leads the championship, 227 points for Siortsis, 214 for Alberto Nasca. Paul Dufresne is on 210 points. The Frenchman not far off at all. He's really come into his stride recently. Gilles Linster and Thomas Dombrowski rounding out the overall top 5. Claudio Remeggio Capelli leads the Legend Trophy. Ariana Casoli leading the Lady Trophy points. And the Rookie Trophy points leader is Thomas Dombrowski, who has been performing exceedingly well this year. We spoke about it in EuroNASCAR Pro earlier on today, and it's even more pertinent given the events of that race. But we discussed how Lucas Lasserre's title campaign is largely going so well in EuroNASCAR Pro because he's staying out of trouble. And that's really the same case for Thomas Dombrowski as well. He's only been in the top 5 once, but he's had 5 top 10s. So he's consistently scoring decent points. And that is more than half the battle, I would suggest. As you can see, the cars are heading to the start positions now. In just over 10 minutes, we'll have the start command and we will be getting ready to go racing. But Vladimiros Siortsis, our pole sitter once again. We saw him presented with the pole award earlier on today. Alberto Nasca alongside. Could be very exciting. And yeah, we hear you check 1-2s. And in fact, you're on camera, Andre. So let's go down to you now.
Oh, damn it, then you hear me singing. All right, I'm here with Patrick Schober. Decent starting position after having some technical problems on Friday. But it seems like, yeah, you have a good starting position, right?
Yeah, I'm excited for the race. Let's see my goal is obviously the top 5, maybe even a podium. Like, let's see what I can achieve. Yeah.
How do you handle turn 1? We saw it already in the EuroNASCAR Pro race. It's a tricky turn, especially at the start of the race.
Yeah, the turn 1 here in Mars, it's really difficult to kind of survive, but my goal is to get clean through the corner and then just see what happens in the race.
Right. Good luck, have fun. Go back to you, Adam.
You got the voice of an angel, Andre. Please don't worry too much. Myself, on the other hand. This is, though, a very challenging circuit, and as we've alluded to already, and as we heard in that interview with Patrick Schauber, that first corner is going to be critical on the first lap. Such is the challenge of the first corner that in this weekend and this weekend only, they're doing single file restarts. Usually, as with the actual beginning of the race, we do a double file start at the beginning. However, on this occasion, because the first corner is such a bottleneck, they've decided that for safety car restarts, should there be any, there will be a single file restart, which is probably a wise call. Let's go down to Nick Schneider with Andre.
Thank you so much, Adam. A true EuroNASCAR rookie, how are you enjoying the racing in EuroNASCAR so far?
Okay, got the microphone now. I hope you guys can hear me. But the racing is absolutely amazing, super fun, super raw, and as all you guys know, no traction control, no ABS, H pattern, so absolutely amazing. Close fights as well. That's what I'm looking for. That's what all drivers look for and dream of. So yeah, in that sense, NASCAR Whelen Euro Series is amazing for that, and I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, just making sure that this time around when we get going, first corner is going to be clean, and from then on out we can start attacking. So I hope you guys enjoy the race.
I need the microphone back. Thank you so much. We go back to Adam.
Thievery, I tell you. The number 64 car. Some news on that as we continue to look through the grid. Eric Quintal, unfortunately, is a bit poorly. Sadly, will not be racing the number 64 Speed House car today. Was due to start from the back of the grid, but will not be partaking. But some interesting names up the order here. Principally, Jack Davidson, who starts on the second row of the grid on the inside. He starts third in this race. Davidson in the number 48 Chevrolet Camaro. Didn't have the best run of it in EuroNASCAR Pro, sadly. However, he will be looking for best fortunes here. Let's go to the national anthems. Froze cockpit then. So the Czech and US national anthems back to back then. And we are somewhere in the ballpark of 3 or 4 minutes away from the countdown to command. Lucy Masakova of Auto Palace will be giving the command on this occasion. If it's the same Auto Palace I'm thinking of, they used to back Ferraris at Le Mans back in the day. Anyway, down to Andre.
Thank you so much. I'm here with Alberto NASCAR. We're heading into crunch time of the season. So any ideas what you're going to plan to win this race today?
I'll just give my best. I mean, there was an unlucky start over the weekend when Jimmy crashed yesterday. I skipped one practice, so I need to take confidence this morning with the car. So I think that I can do much better. That's the idea.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck and have fun. Back to you, Adam. We are ready for the command.
Excellent. Ready for the command then. We'll hear that in just a few moments. Alberto NASCAR went from 11th to 1st place earlier on in the Euro Legend Trophy race to take a win. So hopefully his confidence in general is a little bit higher for that. However, the start command will be given in just a few moments by Lucy Masakova of Auto Palace. And from there, we are due to go racing pretty imminently. Nice full field of cars lined up and ready to go. And before long, they will be fired into life. And they'll be led away by this man, Vladimiros Tsiotsis, his closest title combatant. Alberto NASCAR is there alongside him. NASCAR with good momentum at the moment after taking a win, an emotional win at the Vallelunga circuit last month. He will be looking to build upon that and continue to take some points back away from Tsiotsis, who had a lightning start to the season and faltered somewhat at Vallelunga, often through no fault of his own. Tsiotsis, I think, was often caught playing Mr. Nice Guy at Vallelunga last month, was leaving space where other people were not. I don't think he's going to make that mistake again here at the Autodrom Most, particularly into that all or nothing first corner. I believe that the clock on top of the gantry there, reading 134, 133, 132, may be the one we're going with for the command. So it might be a few more seconds than displayed on screen before the start command. But as soon as we see Lucy Masakova down there giving the command, we will, of course, defer. We should soon hear that command, at which point the V8s will fire into life.
Driver, start your engine.
There you go, the command is given, and yowie wowie, would you listen to the noise of those V8 motors. Excellent stuff then. We are just a few moments away from rolling on the formation lap, and from there the race will begin fairly sharply. Very exciting grid, I would say. We've got some very quick drivers, some of the championship contenders there in the top half dozen. You've also got a few drivers eager to prove a point, the likes of Jack Davidson, Patrick Schauber. They'll be looking to get some of their best results in EuroNASCAR here from their positions on the grid. Schauber from 6th on the grid will definitely be one to watch, the young Austrian. He's been sensational this year. Has had a little bit of misfortune, a heavy incident, funnily enough, with Jack Davidson, who's on the 2nd row of the grid at Brands Hatch. But the Double V Racing outfit and Patrick Schauber have been impressive in the broad scheme of things this season. And we'll see if maybe a podium can be found on this occasion. So 14 laps of racing will begin next time these cars head onto the main straight. For now, though, we head onto the formation lap. and Vladimir Osiortsis leads them away. He will be on the inside of the front row when this race gets started in just a couple of minutes' time. It will be Vladimir Osiortsis on pole position. In the number 5, AutoNASCAR alongside in the 54. Jack Davidson on row 2 in the 48 alongside Paul Dufresne in the number 3. Row 3 of the grid will be Jill Linster in the number 50 alongside Patrick Schauber in the 27. Row 4 will be Roberto Benedetti in the 88 alongside Thomas Dombrowski in the 66. Mikael Bleekemolen, the XF1 driver, on row 5 alongside Nick Schneider. Row 6, Paolo Valeri alongside Riccardo Romagnoli. Martin Dubek on row 7 on his home turf. The 2021 EuroNASCAR 2 champion, starting on the back foot. But then again, he started on row 6, yes, in the EuroNASCAR race earlier today. And at one point, he was in second place, so let's not rule out anything yet. Dubek is alongside Melvin de Groot on row 7. Row 8, Alina Leubnegger in the number 99 car is alongside Matthias Hauer in the number 40. Sven van Leer in the number 56 is joined by Stefani Mogorovic in the number 1. Ariana Casoli just behind her. Ariana Casoli in the number 14 on row 10 alongside Claudia Remeggio Capelli. We had a brilliant scrap with AutoNASCAR earlier on in the Legends support category. Row 11, Valero Marzi alongside Thomas Tuffel. And then on the back row of the grid would have been Eric Quintal, but we understand Eric is not taking the start. And another car not taking the start by the looks of it, unfortunately. Stefani Mogorovic being pulled away from the main straight. That's a big shame for Stefani. And it seems we're going to have a second formation lap, is the word I'm hearing, because of the stalled number 1 car. Even though it looked like we were maybe getting going this time, that is now not the case. So the number 1 car of Mogorovic is now towed away, but we are going to do an extra formation lap. Hopefully that message reaches all the drivers in time. We have a little bit longer to wait before they can get going. See the drivers making sure the heat stays in their tyres. I suspect that a few of the drivers have brand new Hoosier rubber this time around, because a few of them would have stayed on the treaded tyres for the duration of qualifying, I think. So I think a few will be on brand new Hoosiers. Word from race control is that the race will be shortened by a lap, so the original 14-lap distance will be shortened to 13 due to this extra formation lap. So a little bit less time for the likes of Martin Dubek to maybe make up some places. Those who maybe are a little bit out of position will have less time to try and work their way back up. Certainly for Dubek, this morning's qualifying sessions, I think in general maybe the car's setup was just not quite correct. They went the wrong way with the setup, because in both of the sessions for EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2, Martin Dubek was struggling immensely. Seemed to have decent race pace in EuroNASCAR Pro earlier on, so I'm sure he's got his eyes on getting some way into the top 10 if the deck falls in his favour. That's the 88 car. That, of course, being Roberto Benedetti in the Cal Racing outfit. Cal Racing team, one with a lot of saloon car racing heritage. Used to run V8 BMWs in the old Superstars series that existed in the Italian region and wider Europe in the 2000s into the 2010s. These days very much focused on being the best in EuroNASCAR, and arguably it's a task that they succeed at. There are quite a few strong teams in this paddock, be it Cal Racing, be it Hendricks Motorsport, be it Alex Caffey Academy. There are, and Team Blake-Molen. Really, there's very little in it between all of the teams in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, and that is in part thanks to the nature of these cars and the competitiveness of the grid as a whole. They're in 2x2 formation then. Sadly, we've got one spectator in the form of Stefani Mogorovic there. However, everyone else is about to go racing. They're in 2x2 formation. Hopefully things go a little bit easier this time compared to what we had in EuroNASCAR Pro earlier on. The pin is pulled and we are underway. It looks like a good start for Siortzis, a good start for Giuffreau as well, but he does not dive to the middle, maybe not wanting to instigate a three-wide scenario after what we saw earlier today. Oh, but Alberto Nasca goes deep into the corner. I think Giuffreau did as well. Both of them go through the chicane that is made to stop shortcuts, and, well, they did go through that chicane. However, they didn't lose too much time. Vladimiros Siortzis is your leader. Oh, and contact further back in the pack. Big contact further back. That's the 65 of Romagnoli, mounting the bonnet of Paolo Valeri there. So he got through the first chicane largely okay. However, not enough space on the run down towards turn 6 for everybody, it seems. We saw the yellow flags flying, just local yellows at the moment, I understand. Vladimiros Siortzis, though, comfortably in the lead. Siortzis in the number 5 car, your leader. Now look back at the black, red and white car there of Valeri. It looked like they just met in the middle. I think Valeri was a nose ahead, didn't realise there was a car alongside him. We've now gone to full course yellow, but not everybody has realised that. Mikael Blake-Molen went steaming through there. Vladimiros Siortzis will be hoping that this is merely a full course yellow and not a full safety car, as with Vittorio Gorelli in EuroNASCAR Pro earlier on today. He's built a nice lead on that first lap, and he'd probably like to keep it. In amongst all of that first lap drama, Jill Linster is now in second place, and, well, the good news is that they're both standing. The bad news is I think they're having quite a heated debate. Alberto Nasca didn't appear to be in the field there as they came by the start-finish line. I'm just trying to keep an eye. I think, just as we zoomed in there on the number 8 and number 55, I think that Alberto Nasca may have had a coming together as well with Giuffreau, potentially, because Alberto Nasca isn't there. Alberto Nasca in 16th position and dropping. So I think just as we were zooming in on the incident between Valeri and the 65 car, Romagnoli and Valeri, we were zooming in on their incident, and it looked like Alberto Nasca was just in the process of getting tagged as they went out of view. So I dare say that cameraman may have another incident just to his right, but we'll have to see whether that's the case. In fact, no, NASCAR has continued on now, but he is at the back of the pack in 19th position. So I do again believe that down at turn 6, which is the corner they're going through now, there may have been some contact there for Alberto NASCAR. It's a huge shame for NASCAR then that he's quite so far back. That number 54 car has been in the wars this weekend. Obviously, we saw earlier on that Gianmarco Ercole had issues in the pro race, was brought into the incident at the first corner, and he had a crash yesterday as well, as Alberto NASCAR alluded to. Hopefully that number 54 isn't too damaged. Jack Davidson up in 4th place, so he's just about retained his position. Jill Linster, the biggest winner on that first lap by the looks of it, started in 5th and is now up in 2nd place. Helped in part, I think, by Dufresne and NASCAR going straight on at the first chicane. Does seem rather as if the chasing pack have closed in on Vladimiros Tsiotsis during this FCY. Strictly speaking, during a full course yellow, that shouldn't be possible. So that could be a matter of debate from Alex Caffey Academy Motorsport. So your order, as it stands, Vladimiros Tsiotsis the leader, Jill Linster in 2nd, Paul Dufresne in 3rd ahead of Jack Davidson. Safety car has been deployed. Patrick Schauber 5th, Roberto Benedetti in 6th, ahead of Thomas Dombrowski, Mikael Bleekemolen, Melvin de Groot and Martin Dubek, who has managed to get himself up into 10th place in the early going. So the Czech driver at his home event, running in the top 10. There is Riccardo Romagnoli making the walk back to the paddock, and clearly he and Paolo Valeri were in disagreement. So lap 3 of the race begins under safety car. Now often, a couple of times this year, we've seen full course yellow followed by a single lap of safety car, and then the race has resumed. Hopefully that's the case now, so we only have 1 lap under full safety car conditions, but that is purely speculation. Not sure how far along the recovery of those 2 cars is. Certainly no small matter, making sure that the circuit is ready to go live once again. So it's Vladimiros Tsiotsis in the lead of this race, and it could be a big championship swing in his favour as things stand, with Alberto NASCAR down in 19th position. He would theoretically score a whole chunk more points than Alberto NASCAR. Alberto NASCAR's car, incidentally, looks A-OK. The same cannot be said for the Valeri number 8 car. But we saw there that that recovery is still ongoing, so I suspect we are going to need more than 1 lap under safety car. Yes, Alberto NASCAR is going to have to drive from the back of the grid. Again, he's already done that once today in his Legend car. But I'm sure he was hoping to not have to do that in this race, given he started on the front row. However, the deck has not fallen in his favour in the slightest. He will now have to work his way up from 19th on the grid. Contact between cars 3 and 54 under investigation. That is Paul Giffreau and Alberto NASCAR. So that was down at turn 6, I believe. I think that is why NASCAR is so far down the order now. Wasn't caught on the live pictures because we were focusing in on the Valeri incident with Riccardo Romagnoli. Vladimir Osiortis backing off here as if he's going to get a start this time. I don't think the safety car is going to be in just yet, I'm afraid, with the crane still working down at turn 6. Well, for Alberto NASCAR, it's going to be his second last to first challenge of the day. Overtaking in a legend car is significantly easier than overtaking in a stock car, so I think first maybe is a bit of a reach, but he could certainly make his way back into the top 10, granted enough time to actually make the moves. And I hesitated to say top 5, but it's not impossible. Things do often get quite dramatic here at Most, and if he can be the beneficiary of that, then I wouldn't rule out a top 5 finish, but certainly Vladimir Osiortis will now be focused solely on what's going on through the windscreen and hoping to get as many points as possible. Here's a replay of the start. As you can see, I think by the standards of today, everyone behaving themselves a bit. Jill Linster looked to the inside of Jack Davidson. Now actually, was it Davidson that collected Giuffreau? Because Davidson was the one putting his nose to the inside of NASCAR at the time of the incident, as we've seen Valeri and Benedetti's incident once again, but Valeri and Romagnoli's incident once again. It was actually Jack Davidson who had his nose to the inside there of Alberto NASCAR, but maybe there was another incident between Giuffreau and NASCAR further around. Nonetheless, what we know is that NASCAR is there in 19th place. Osiortis is our leader, and we also know that the safety car is in this lap. So, again, because of the nature of the first chicane here at Most, the stewards electing for a single file restart procedure system this weekend. So no double file on the restart. Downside there potentially being that as much as it should be calmer into the corner and everyone should have a bit more space, it may also promote the odd lunge. Let's see. Now, Osiortis is meant to lead the cars through the left-hand grid slots here as we get back underway. Of course, I'm sure he will immediately dart to the right as soon as he can to have the defensive line into the first corner. He needs to run them through the left-hand side grid slots per the briefing that was put out to the drivers ahead of this weekend. After a bit of a delay, we are going to go back to green flag racing then, and it's Vladimir Osiortis who leads, but Jill Linster is right there with him. Jill Linster goes to the outside line on Vladimir Osiortis, side by side as they go into the first chicane. It's Giuffreau in third place. It's side by side for P4 between Schauber and Davidson. And Schauber going wide there. Everyone else, I think, just about making it through okay. The top two breaking away, stretching their legs as Davidson and Dufresne go side by side into turn 6. Davidson for Marco Stipp Motorsport will be looking to try and take a podium here. Marco Stipp haven't had too much success so far this season. He'd love to bring them some silverware. Paul Dufresne then is superseded by Davidson for now. Davidson in the 48 car up into 3rd place. That would certainly be the best result so far in the fledgling NASCAR Whelen Euro Series career of Jack Davidson. At 5 of 13. And Vladimir Osiortsis is once again your race leader, and once again he's built an advantage over Jill Linster. Osiortsis looks to have good race pace here in these drier conditions. Granted, his qualifying pace was also impressive in the damp this morning. His performance in the EuroNASCAR Pro race earlier today was admirable also, so maybe not a surprise that Osiortsis is right up there. Paul Dufresne closing in on the Marco Stipp Motorsport number 48, dives to the inside later on the brakes, and the RDV competition driver in the number 3 gets through into 3rd position. Patrick Schauber is there in 5th place as well. Melvin de Groot in 6th position, Benedetti in 7th, Dubek is up to 8th place, so once again Martin Dubek's qualifying performance definitely not indicative of his pace in the race. Just went the wrong way with tyre pressures or setup this morning, but Dubek showing his mettle in race pace. Receiving word that the restart is under investigation. No more specific information than that, so we'll see what that entails as and when. Patrick Schauber there. Just trying to close in on Davidson. Of course, Davidson has already lost out in this lap to Paul Dufresne, who is starting to drive away a little bit. Martin Dubek, meanwhile, pressuring Roberto Benedetti. So it is Benedetti holding off Dubek, but will he be able to take the defensive line into the first corner? He arches the car to the right to try and do just that, but Dubek a lot later on the brakes. Is he too ambitious? No, he's just the right amount of ambitious. Gets through. Looking like a bit of a late braking fiend at the moment, Martin Dubek, making his positions up nicely. So Dubek up to 7th position in the number 7 car. Thomas Dombrowski now on the back of Benedetti. In terms of class orders, it's Melvin de Groot who leads the Legend Trophy. Jack Davidson who leads the Rookie Trophy. Meanwhile, Patrick Schauber gets himself past Jack Davidson. So Davidson demoted another position. And Melvin de Groot now keeping a watching eye as well. While he is leading the Legend Trophy, it's not by too much. Roberto Benedetti just a couple of cars back in 8th place. So I'm sure de Groot would be okay with making up a couple of more places overall and putting some furniture between himself and the 88 Cal Racing entry. Patrick Schauber, as we saw, has managed to find his way past the 48 of Jack Davidson. Dubek in the tow here, behind Melvin de Groot. So Dubek looking to the inside line. And again, later on the brakes there, he's clearly found a braking marker that he trusts into that first corner. Had a look to the inside, but couldn't quite get it done on that occasion. He's looming large, however, in the mirrors. He says to Melvin de Groot, I'm going to fight all these urges, my brother. I'm going to try and not make a silly move. But best believe if I open that door, or if you open that door, I'm going through. .2 seconds, the gap between Siortsis and Linster at the front. That's gone out by 0.6 on this lap alone. So Siortsis is controlling the race at the front of the order. But look at the speed that Dubek carried there through turn 13. That should set him up nicely for a move at 15. He looks to the inside. Is he later on the brakes? He was fractionally, and Melvin de Groot realises that battle is one that he's not going to win. The Hendricks Motorsport number 7 car continues its charge then. The 2021 EuroNASCAR 2 champion Martin Dubek moves up into 6th position. I think he will be very disappointed that his qualifying didn't match his race pace today, because what could have been in EuroNASCAR 2 and EuroNASCAR Pro today, had his qualifying performances better matched what we're seeing from him in the race. The drivers have completed lap 8. It is Vladimiros Siortsis who leads the way at this stage. Siortsis managing this one nicely. Again, slightly extending that advantage, doing everything he needs to do, but he's doing it in a way that's smooth. You watch his inputs as he goes through these corners. He's not herring the car out of the turns. He's smooth with the throttle application. He's smooth on turn-in. He's not asking the rear Hoosiers to do anything that they're not comfortable doing, because frankly, he doesn't need to push that much at the moment. Meanwhile, AutoNASCAR, down in 19th position, has not made up any places at all. 1 minute and 1 second off the pace. I don't know why NASCAR is quite so far back. He was on the back of that safety car queue. The car looks to be okay, but he's 15 seconds away from his closest competition, Ariana Casoli. Quite why AutoNASCAR is so far off the pack, I'm not sure, but obviously we saw him demoted to 19th place after a collision on the first lap. It's a shame for NASCAR. The 72 and the 88 getting a 5-second time penalty for a false restart. So that is Mikael Bleekemolen in 11th place. He's going to have a 5-second time penalty applied to the end of his race. And Roberto Benedetti, critically, is also going to receive a penalty. He's sitting in 8th place, and at the moment he's right on the back of Melvin de Groot in the battle for 7th overall, which is also the battle for the lead in the Legend Trophy. But unfortunately, Benedetti is going to have a 5-second penalty applied, so even if he gets past Melvin de Groot, he's unlikely to take the win in the class. Some very edgy driving from Dufresne. You can see that car. Oh, full course yellow, I understand, maybe about to come out, potentially, because we have a car. FCY is indeed coming out, and that's because we have a car in turn 20's gravel trap. So the penultimate corner of the lap, there is a car, and it's the 18. Unfortunately, Claudio Remeggio Capelli beached in the gravel. Now, hopefully, with the field isolated under full course yellow conditions, either a vehicle or indeed some particularly burly marshals can push that car to freedom without too much of a drama. Into the pits comes Casoli in the 14 as well, so Ariana having an issue by the looks of it. Well, lap 10 of the race and full course yellow. There is, of course, the overtime system, which is usually deployed to try and ensure a green flag finish. There is the question of time constraints as well. Hopefully we get to see this race finish under green conditions. Getting a look there at Paul Giuffreau and Davidson having their scrap earlier on. That was Martin Dubeck getting past Melvin de Groot. De Groot, once he was on the dirty side of turn 15, I think he knew that battle wasn't going to be won. Vladimir Osiortsis then remains our race leader. Cruising along second gear, 2,500 RPM. That's the procedure for full course yellow. Cars now on to lap 11 of the race. So 2 laps and 3/4, let's say, left to run. So 10 laps in the books, the cars are on lap 11. There's Alina Leubneger in the number 99 car. Promotion team. She has quite the benchmark in that car in the former Tobias Downhauer, who sadly didn't really get to show his mettle earlier on in EuroNASCAR Pro, was of course beached in the gravel at the very first corner in that race. So the field once again bunching together. Once more, theoretically, they shouldn't be bunching together under full course yellow, but it seems that that memo has largely gone missed. There's the 18 of Claudio Remeggio Capelli back underway, so hopefully that's the only obstruction that was causing an issue. We might see the full course yellow lifted before too long. Paul Giuffreau will be chomping at the bit to try and move forward, as I have no doubts will be those behind as well. Again, with 10 laps in the books, as you see, this is lap 11 of the race, so this time by they will start the penultimate lap. And they will start the penultimate lap under green flag conditions. The full course yellow is lifted, some quicker to the jump than others. Green was delivered at short notice. Jill Linster to the inside of Giuffreau, but Giuffreau with the better getaway as the FCY was lifted. He goes to second place. They cross the line now to begin the penultimate lap of the race then. So 2 laps left to go, and it's Giuffreau versus Linster for that second position. Oh, some of them being brave on the brakes, I have no doubt here as we get into the high tension stuff. Patrick Schauber going all the way around the outside of Jill Linster there out of turn 2. That was very magnificently done. Schauber making up his places then. Schauber onto the podium potentially if he can hold on to that P3. Jack Davidson losing out. Almost contact between himself and Dubeck. He gets no space there. Davidson losing out to de Groot and losing out to Dubek in quick succession. Davidson then down to 7th place, and Dubek side by side with Melvin de Groot for 5th position. Heading towards turn 13 of the lap. Can Melvin do anything to stave off Dubek? He got a slightly better run out of turn 10. And by the time they got to the next serious braking zone at turn 13, it just about paid off for him. Oh, and contact between the two of them, sending Melvin de Groot into the grass. I fear into the barrier as well, unfortunately for Melvin. That was a high-speed collision. Very high-speed collision. Martin Dubek tried to dive to the inside, but Melvin de Groot went the same direction at the same time. And the two parties met in the middle. In the final lap of the race then, with Dubek ahead of Davidson. 5th and 6th places respectively. Vladimir Osiortsis on to the final lap of the race then, as your race leader. Osiortsis, who came into this weekend as a championship leader, but came into this weekend with a diminished championship lead as Alberto Nasca found his footing at Vallelunga. Osiortsis is now set to extend that lead all over again, and by some margin as well. Another pendulum swing in favour of the Cypriot racer. Can Paul Dufresne hold on to 2nd position? I think Patrick Schauber is far enough back that he doesn't have to worry, but can Jill Linster maybe try and get to the podium? He was, of course, running 2nd in early doors. Vladimir Osiortsis, though, heads towards the final couple of corners for the last time. Patrick Schauber defending up against Jill Linster. 3rd place is up for debate, but I think P1 is settled. It's Vladimir Osiortsis who comes across the line to secure yet another win in at the EuroNASCAR 2 season of 2023, and he extends his championship lead. Dufresne takes 2nd. Patrick Schauber just about holds on to 3rd place ahead of Jill Linster. Dubek in 5th, Davidson in 6th. I believe Dombrowski held on to 7th place. Yes, he did. Roberto Benedetti comes across the line in 8th position. But of course, he has a penalty to his name. And we now get another look at the collision between Dubek and de Groot. And, well, frankly, I don't understand why Dubek thought there was going to be room there. De Groot was sent sliding across the grass as a result. And Vladimir Osiortsis is your winner and will further extend his points lead. That will be race win number 5 of the season so far for Vladimir Osiortsis. There's Alberto Nasca just coming across the line now. And unfortunately for Alberto Nasca, this race has gone nowhere near like how he expected it to. Comes across the line all the way down in 14th position. He made up some places because of the various incidents and accidents, but 14th position is not the finish that Alberto Nasca would have had in mind when he was lining up on that front row earlier on today. Here's a statistic for you then, as we get a replay of the start. Let's talk you through these highlights before I mention my fun stat. Vladimir Osiortsis with the best getaway as the race began. Both Nasca and Dufresne, I think with Dufresne giving a bit of a nudge to Alberto Nasca, both parties missed the first chicane, ended up taking the shortcut. I think Elina Leubnegger did the same. There was this impact between Romagnoli and Valeri, which, along with what we understand was a bit of contact for Alberto Nasca, brought out the first full course yellow of the day. Safety car came out thereafter, and when the race resumed, Jill Lindster was right there on the back of Vladimiros Tsiotsis. Tsiotsis, though, would stave off the advances and build the lead once again. Dufresne and Davidson would have a good scrap for third place. Dufresne came out on top of that one. Melvin de Groot overtaken by Martin Dubeck. However, the two would find themselves dueling again a bit later on in the race. Dubeck went to try and do the same thing, sneak up the inside at 15. Unfortunately, on that occasion, it ended much worse for Melvin de Groot, spinning across the grass. Vladimiros Tsiotsis, though, takes his 5th win of the season in the number 5 car. Number of victories this year for Vladimiros Tsiotsis in EuroNASCAR 2, 5. For everyone else, 2. 1 apiece for Nasca and Dufresne, both, of course, at Vallelunga. So Tsiotsis currently holding more than half of the victories this year. Significant portion of the race victories this season going to the speedy Cypriot, who has the ambassador to Czechia from Cyprus here this weekend backing him. The Cypriot ambassador to the Czech Republic is here this weekend observing their finest motor racing export at the moment, Vladimiros Tsiotsis. Well, there you go then. Dramatic first day here at the Autodrom Most, I would say, for the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. We had plenty of thrills and spills in each race. The EuroNASCAR 2 race a little bit more disrupted, but no one could put a halt to the proceedings up front. Vladimiros Tsiotsis another victory in the EuroNASCAR 2 Championship. It's been a stellar campaign to this point, and by no means is that championship a done deal with the way the points are scored in this championship. 40 points for a win, 35 for second, 34 for third, and then it continues on down in 1 point increments from there. It does mean that poor results sometimes aren't as punished as they would be in other scoring systems. And with 2 drop scores as well and double points in the finale, often feel like you approach the season finale on something of a roulette table. But if he is on a roulette table, Vladimiros Tsiotsis has all the spins at the moment. Let's see him out of the car then. A sight that we're all too familiar with. Vladimiros Tsiotsis takes his flag and holds it aloft at yet another circuit. Tsiotsis' season only looks more impressive with each passing weekend. Started off so strong at Valencia, of course. He continued that streak of 100% race victories going into Brands Hatch and coming out of Brands Hatch. However, Vallelunga did not go to plan. Thus far, the Autodrom Most is going to plan for Vladimiros Tsiotsis. He is down alongside Andre Viegold. Let's go there now.
Vladdy, another win for you in EuroNASCAR 2. It was a good race for you, right?
Yeah, it was a good race. After stressing 2 hours until we changed the gearbox, because at the last 2 corners of EuroNASCAR Pro, I lost second and third gear. So until I find that only the fourth works, we lost some places, but okay, we were P3. Now it was a perfect race, yes. We start from the beginning until the end. Stability without pushing really, just it was a key, the restarts and full course yellows. But we did everything right, so I am happy thanks to this team that in 2 hours they managed me to race, because I thought a good result in Pro, but not racing in 2, it will be such a shame.
All right, thank you so much. You know already this procedure. Yes. We have to find some place, I think. It's a fifth sticker on your car, the winner sticker. And now back to Adam.
He's going to run out of windscreen space or window space before the end of the season. EuroNASCAR 2 winner 5 times already this year, Vladimir Osiortsis. His momentum continues to exceed expectations, and I'd say the same goes for Paul Giuffreau. Another strong result. Let's go to him.
Paul, another really solid result for you. You have gained a lot of momentum this season.
Yeah, but I wanted to win this race. Yeah, but it's my fault. It's the quali. At the quali, I made a mistake, so I lost my fastest lap. But it's like that. I have to learn, because this was clearly my fault. To start before, it's a mistake. And yeah, I just want to don't do that mistake anymore. And I want to see my car there. Yeah, but amazing job from Vladimir Ross. He drove really well. Even when I had a clear lap with no one in front, he's still faster. So good job to him, and I will improve.
How was it with Jill Linster, the battle you had at the beginning of the race?
It was cool, but yeah, firstly with NASCAR that we cut, we broke too late, and then we let the guys pass, and Davidson dive and he touched NASCAR. I think NASCAR didn't see him, but it was a racing incident, because from my side it's like that. And yeah, and after I have to take care of the car from NASCAR if he will go back to the track. So I waited, and that's why Linster overtook me. And yeah, it's like that. But there is always a racing incident and more, so we have to take them in consideration. And yeah.
All right, thank you so much, merci beaucoup, and good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you, you're welcome.
Back to you, Adam.
Excellent racing from Giuffreau there. Didn't take any undue risk in his efforts to try and make up positions, and ended up taking a solid finish there. Another podium in his favour. Second position for Giuffreau. And Patrick Schauber will also be joining them on that podium, which will be big for Patrick, the Austrian racer. Continuing to show his mettle along with the Double V Racing team. I've been more and more impressed by Schauber's racecraft and his performance this year in EuroNASCAR 2. Before the end of this season, I think we could see him in the battle for a win. And there he is now. I have never realised quite how tall he is, but Andre is illustrating that point now as he's alongside Patrick Schauber.
No. He's tall, yes, but I'm very small, to be honest. Okay, you told me already before we start this interview it was a hard fight for you. Tell me why.
Yeah, I mean, because now the top 5 or the top 10, let's say, are just top drivers. Yeah, I mean, at the back, if I start from the back, it's like, it's not that, it's hard to pass them, but the guys are in front, they're more experienced and have like more energy to like win, I would say. But I'm really happy that I could achieve the 3rd place. Like, yeah.
How does it feel to be on the podium in EuroNASCAR for the first time? Just talk us through your emotions.
It feels amazing. I mean, with a crowd like this and action on the track like that, I'm happy that I could achieve my very first podium. It's the 3rd place, but now it's only more at the front.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you.
incidentally, regarding tomorrow's grid, I think that Martin Dubek could well be on pole position because per what I'm looking at here, I think he's got the fastest lap of anybody. 141.955, the only driver to get into the 141s. So yeah, I think that our hometown hero, our home boy here at the Autodrom Most, Martin Dubek, may well be our pole sitter come Sunday. But for now, the pictures being taken as Vladimiros Tsiotsis celebrates yet another victory. Jack Davidson, meanwhile, down with Andre.
Thank you so much. It seems like that the Autodrom Most became your favorite track, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a brilliant weekend. I mean, since seeing the track yesterday, I mean, you can't ask for much more. I mean, been doing a lot more time in the car as well, doing Pro and the Euro 2, so, I mean, I think that's helped a lot, but, I mean, yeah, it's a really, really good track, fast flowing, so, I mean, can't wait to come back next year.
But do you think that the extra track time is valuable for you, that it is such a big advantage?
Yeah, definitely, because, I mean, I'm still learning the car. I mean, I know we're 4 weekends in, I mean, but the thing is, there's guys in this championship that's been doing it for 2 years, 3 years, you know, so it's a lot of catching up to do. So the more car time, the more seat time I get, the better.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you.
There you go. So Jack Davidson giving his props to Andre as well. I think we saw there just as he went off camera. That's great. Andre is brilliant at herding drivers and talking to them. Definitely deserves his props down there in pit lane. Davidson, the winner then in the rookie class as well. So that will be a big result for him, beating Dombrovski to the line. And of course, Roberto Benedetti. Even though he had a 10-second penalty to be applied, he is still the winner in the legend class as well. So Roberto Benedetti, I thought he might lose out on that, but because the rest of the legends class sort of fell by the wayside during the race, of course Capelli ended up in the gravel, De Groot had his accident. So even with the 5-second penalty that was applied to him, Roberto Benedetti in the 88 car taking top honours. And we now go once again to Andre.
Thank you so much, Adam. I'm here with Alina Leutnegger, winner of the Ladies Trophy. You're back in EuroNASCAR 2 and first position.
Yeah, I'm super happy. The team did a great job. Really, thank you to the whole team, to my sponsors, to everybody who support me. I'm really happy.
How was the race for you? Because there was a lot of carnage. We had some safety car periods, some full course yellows.
Yeah, it was really crazy, the race. So especially the first laps, yeah, a lot of crashes, a lot of safety cars, but I stay focused, I was concentrated, and yeah, my focus was to P1, so in the Ladies Trophy, and yeah, I did it.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you, Adam.
I understand that Alina's sister, Melinda, will once again be performing national anthems for us here tomorrow, as I remember she did at the Autodrom Vallelunga as well. So we can look forward to another performance from Alina's sister next time out, but a good performance as well from Alina Leutnegger on her return to the EuroNASCAR 2 grid. Having a chat there with Vladimiros Tsiotsis, and we can now go to Andre once again.
Yes, Adam, thank you so much. I'm here with Sven van Laere. Just tell me, how was your race?
Well, great. Avoiding all the accidents was already a big achievement, I think. It was a little bit crazy, but happy with the final result.
How's the car going for tomorrow? What are your expectations?
Well, I hope to do the same thing. If I can stay out of trouble again, for me it's a learning year, and all the experience I can get and doing finishes is the most important. And thanks to the great team and the great car, it's working.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And back to you, Adam.
Thank you very much, Andre. As you can see, bystanders awaiting the podium. We'll have 3 podiums in a presentation before the conclusion of our broadcast today, celebrating the victors and the achievers in this race today in EuroNASCAR 2. As Sven van Laere rather alluded to there, surviving it was most of the battle You know what? I've noticed that Andre must be popular because I'm seeing lots of volunteers for him at the moment. I think I just saw another driver head in his direction. The ever popular Andre Viegold attracting media or attracting drivers for media commitments. It is indeed Nick Schneider.
Yeah, thank you so much, Adam. I have to be honest, Gianluca in the background is helping me a lot catching those drivers, and you were close by, so tell me, how was your race?
Yeah, it was definitely a tough one to say the least. I mean, it was a challenge for sure, especially, you know, staying out of all the different accidents. I saw things where I was like, okay, if I'm going to be caught up in that, I mean, nothing I could do, but luckily I was able to get out of the way, didn't get caught up in anything, you know, no big collisions, so clean race for me. Unfortunately not for many other drivers, but that's racing, such is life. And yeah, happy to be on the rookie podium today again in 3rd place. Wished for a higher position, but yeah, better luck tomorrow. I'll get ready and see how I can, you know, improve on the circuit, you know, and yeah, how we can get the best package to maybe even be first tomorrow on the rookie trophy. So stay tuned, maybe I'll make it, maybe I won't, who knows.
As a rookie, turn 1 seems to be a very crucial part of that track. On the technical side, how do you approach it? Which gear do you use?
Well, everybody does differently. Some people do it in 2nd gear, some people in 1st. I'm one of those people that does it in 1st. Yeah, it's quite hard to put 1st gear in because the gear ratio jump from 1st to 2nd is quite high. So in that case, you put a lot of stress on 1st gear. But yeah, there's a lot of extra acceleration you get out of the corner. So you're braking super late, far after the 200-meter sign, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, instantly turn and take the speed, turn in for the next corner, on throttle immediately and up to 2nd, and that's kind of how you get out of the 1st corner. And yeah, since it's very tight, it's quite hard to do it with many cars, so thus the collisions.
Okay, thank you so much. Congratulations.
No issue. Enjoy the podium, guys. See you.
Back to you, Adam.
Well, you managed to keep your microphone this time, Andre. Nick Schneider took the microphone from Andre earlier on, of course, when they were talking in the pre-grid. Nick Schneider, great driver and a great personality as well. We love chatting to him. And I believe we now have some of the Academy guys down there, so let's go talk to them.
Yes, we are at my favorite team, at least what the name is, because this is Academy, this is Alex Caffey Motorsport, the longest name we have on the grid, I think. Very nice to write in race reports, by the way. Are you happy with the performance of Vladimiros, Alex?
Well, for sure. I mean, today he did a great job because also in the Pro he was 3rd, and we have a very bad qualifier, but he was quite lucky in the 1st corner, but he was constantly. And we suffer some problem in the last lap, and he lost the 2nd position, but we was in the podium. And after that, in the second race, he just show how good he is and how force he is in this season. And I think that is one, if not the best driver in the NASCAR in the moment.
Thank you so much. Does he? Hello. Buongiorno.
How are you?
Come stai? Bene. Does he? Can he keep the trophies or do you take it away?
No, we keep the trophy. No, we keep the trophy, and also we have to thank you, all the guys of the team. They changed the gearbox in so quickly time, and nothing to say at all. The Vladimiro is too fast, and the guys that will work for us very fast. And the beer is for me.
He's not driving,
it's like and cheers to everyone! Cheers!
So where's mine?
So cheers is yours.
Okay. Go back to you, Adam.
I wonder why they're your favourite team, Andre. What possible reason would you have to like the team that plies you with free beer? Oh, the EuroNASCAR paddock is unmatched sometimes for the hijinks. And Andre Viegold has gained a pint. And he will, I'm sure, sit that in the sunset as we get ready for this podium. I think there is some debate as to a potential penalty. I've had a couple of different versions of the podium come up so far, some including Jack Davidson, some of them not. So we'll wait and see. But until we know exactly what to present to who, we won't get a podium. Seemingly, we found out, because here is a podium. Patrick Schauber the number 27 driver taking the third step of the overall podium. Second place to Paul Dufro. Congratulations to him. And your top step, to the surprise of only a few of the drivers, or only a few of the viewers who have watched all season, it is once again Vladimiros Siortsis to the top step of the podium in EuroNASCAR 2. Siortsis continues to grow that lead in the championship. Patrick Schauber receiving his bottle of Panu from the Guerin family. And his trophy, same goes for Paul Dufro. And to the top step of the podium once again, Vladimiros Siortsis. He will receive his trophy. And once again, His Excellence George, the Cyprus ambassador for the Czech Republic, once again presenting Vladimiros Siortsis with the trophy. Another success for the Super Cypriot. Really significant, the strides that Vladimiros Siortsis is making. Of course, Cyprus with a rich motorsport history, particularly in rallying, as a host of the World Rally Championship, one of the most infamously rocky and challenging rallies of the early 2000s in the WRC. And in the modern era, I think Vladimiros Siortsis doing more than just about anyone to hold the flag of Cyprus up high in motorsport. And at the end of it all, he gives himself a good shower as well. Race suit might be a bit sticky, but it can go in the wash before the two races on Sunday. Congratulations to all three on that podium. All very young drivers as well in the grand scheme of things. You look at that podium and you think, right, how long before these three are fighting for a EuroNASCAR Pro title? I suspect not very long at all. Both Siortsis and Dufro are already showing what they can do in EuroNASCAR Pro. And I don't think it will be too long before we see Patrick Schauber providing us some showcases in the top class as well.
Don't drink and drive.
I'm sure you heard that too. Thankfully they don't have to drive again today.
It doesn't work.
There's Vladimiros Siortsis doing the signatures.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Good luck for the next race.
It's nice to see there Vladimiros making time for his supporters. Next podium being prepared. They, I think more than anything, are worried about the health and safety, given a lot of champagne was just sprayed. I think they're making sure no one stacks it, which is a reasonable concern, I'll grant them that. I didn't spot this, but apparently Patrick Schauber broke his champagne bottle, or his bottle of Pano from the Guerin Reserve, so that maybe explains the slight delay to the next podium. Glass.
So let's move on to Legend Trophy official
There is the number 5 car then, the Alex Caffey Academy Motorsport entry. Funnily enough, the only car on the grid that is labelled a EuroNASCAR FJ, rather than going with one of the body kits from one of the manufacturers in the US NASCAR National Series. Here is our legend podium then. Matthias Hauer and Sven van Leer, joined by Roberto Benedetti. 2 Cal Racing drivers on this podium then. A 1-2 in class for Benedetti and Sven van Leer of Cal Racing. Sven van Leer taking P2, and Roberto Benedetti taking the spoils on this occasion, despite receiving a penalty during the race. He gets his bottle and he gets his trophy. Outlasted most of the top contenders in the Legend Trophy and takes the top step.
So thank you very much, guys, and let's move on. Let's move on for the podium ceremony for the Rookie Trophy, starting with the driver on
Onwards then to the Rookie Trophy. And well, Nick Schneider was very succinct in describing his chances of a podium earlier on in regards to tomorrow's race, but you can see that he's there today. Nick Schneider taking second, Valeri Marzi third, and Thomas Dombrowski to the top step, and that is because Jack Davidson has seemingly been penalised, so Davidson removed from the Rookie Trophy podium, unfortunately, was due to be on the top step. That is your Rookie Trophy podium. Another 3 youngsters who could well factor into the future of the top levels of EuroNASCAR. And now Alina Leubnegger takes to the podium. Of course, Ariana Casoli not making the finish, so Alina takes the Lady Trophy honours on this occasion. I believe Ariana Casoli is there to congratulate her. I saw her waiting down at the podium, which is nice to see. Lena taking the final silverware of Saturday then at the NASCAR Grand Prix of the Czech Republic. It was a win for Vladimiros Siortsis, once again race win number 5 of the 2023 season for championship leader Vladimiros Siortsis. His 3rd different circuit that he's won at already in this season, and the success continues. The fan support grows as well. You see him down there taking photographs with the fans. Vladimiros Siortsis will be looking to take that top step once again when we head back to racing on Sunday in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. 2 races, of course, to come on Sunday. 10:45 a.m. we will see the EuroNASCAR 2 category out there on circuit, 10:45 a.m. Central European time, and then the 8th round of the EuroNASCAR Pro season at 1:55 p.m. Central European. Convert to your time zone as necessary, but those are the times. Make sure you join us again for Sunday here at Most.
When you come to Kvarner, treat yourself to an experience you will remember. Enjoy the luxurious ambience. Experience superior service. Indulge in endless pleasures. The pearl of the tourism offer in the pearl of the Adriatic. Liburnia, Hotels and Villas.